the old Lehigh School, and this school was restored by the Mesa Historical Society. And the name of the museum now is Chrisman's Farm and Heritage Museum. And the Phelpses are having a Phelps reunion here, March the 3rd, 1980. And so we're going to interview the cousins as they come through so that the posterity will enjoy meeting all of the family once again. And this one that's here by me is a special little cousin. Tell us what your name is and who you're from.
I am Peggy Phelps Lee, and I am a descendant of Joseph Phelps. In fact, there's only one here in the valley. No, I have an aunt in Phoenix. The rest of them are all out of state.
And who was your mother and dad?
My father was Jack Phelps, and my mother was Ellen Foster Phelps.
But we called her Tootie.
Tootie.
We know her as Tootie.
That's right.
I always remember Peggy because Tootie used to keep her with those beautiful long ringlets when you were little. See, so we go back a ways.
A long time ago.
Catch your husband so he can be in here.
Father. Come here.
I'm busy.
Everybody's bashful. How are you?
I don't care.
You're on candid camera.
So,
we want us to tell you what your name is.
well, I know what my name is.
I want you to tell the camera.
Eldred Lee.
And you're living in Phoenix now?
Living in
Eldred?
Phoenix now.
That's great. And tell us, how many children do you have?
We have five children, 4 boys and 1 girl. And when I was young, I attended this school, and I spent many hours in that office right over there. That was the principal's office.
That's what's so neat about this old school.
Yeah.
There were so many of us that went to the Lehigh School. You're in for a big treat. What they've done to all of the rooms, and the auditorium has beautiful murals painted in there. So you'll enjoy.
Across the street.
You did?
Yeah,
Now,
not
see,
very far.
I didn't know that.
Not very far. I walked to school in the snow up to
That's
what I tell my kids.
In Arizona.
Yeah.
Walked to school
in
Lehigh.
1937.
That's great.
That's when there was about 4 inches of snow on the ground.
I remember
in
when it
1937.
snowed there. Yeah, I remember it snowed. Yeah, that's a one time. Okay, have a good time tonight. Now with the camera when they had it on, so they want me to do these again.
Oh my goodness.
So
Wait and lead it. I don't know, what should we fire him or what should we?
no, we won't fire him. We'll just keep him a little longer and let him work overtime. You're Lawrence Fryer, and tell me what your ancestors were.
My father was George Moroni Fryer. My mother was Lottie Phelps. My great and wonderful grandmother was Sarah. My great and wonderful grandfather was Hiram Smith Phelps.
Great. And you're from California now.
Westminster, California, and we've lived there since 1926. I have.
Great. And your wife?
Is Edith McCarthy.
And I'm from Troy, New York, but I came out here when I was a year and a half old. And Larry and I met in 1940, and we were married in 43. Yes, September, and we have 2 boys.
Ricky is our youngest son. We lost him in Vietnam. Our oldest son is Larry, and he lives in Sandy, Utah. He's an elementary school principal. We have a grandson, Christopher, who will soon be 6 years old.
The pride and joy of our life.
I'll bet he is. You know, Bill was born in Troy, New York, so you'll have to reminisce.
Reminisce at a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Really remember a lot.
It's great. We're glad you come back.
Thank you, Wanda.
Okay, you bet. Orson?
Second, it'll be 50.
50 years. Now, I don't believe that. Lorraine, I want you under the light so they can see it.
I don't want to be under the light.
Oh, yeah. Tell us who you're from. With a name like Orson Phelps, we know who your dad is, but tell us anyway.
Well, I am the son of Orson Phelps, who is the brother of Gov and Wilfred. And I married into the Sorensen family down in Lehigh. And her mother's name was Ellsworth, maiden name, and her father was Alec Sorensen. So between the Ellsworths and the Sorensens and the Phelpses, we got a whole lot of relatives.
Well, got some Allens in there now. How are you related to the Allens?
Well, Aunt Barbara and my dad were brother and sister. And we've got an awful lot of good relation. And
What's your mother's name, Orson?
Rebecca Hannah Allen.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear from you.
Yeah,
Now, what are you doing besides putting in 48 hours a day at the museum?
nothing. Absolutely nothing. Only time I worry is when I can't think of something I can put off till tomorrow.
You're a little bit like your dad. We owe a lot to you, Orson, because of helping us with the Phelps room, and then when everybody goes in and see those chandeliers in the auditorium, we'll hope they remember that Orson put those up, because they're sure nice.
A lot of personal satisfaction there. Thank you,
I
Wanda.
think so. You
Okay.
bet. Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Oh, Orson, you forgot to tell us how many children you have and their names.
Oh, I have 3 children. My oldest one, son Wayne, will be here. He was born in Los Angeles. Then 5 years later, we had a son named Richard, and he won't be here. And then 8 years later, we had a daughter by the name of Deanne, and she won't be here. But we're real proud of all of them.
Yeah, I was talking to Wayne the other day, and he said I wouldn't miss this reunion.
Yeah, I have
Well, that's
three beautiful granddaughters,
That-
and we're proud of the whole bunch.
Good. It's
Thank
good
you.
to see you. That's okay. Tell us who you are.
Well, Charles Robson and Claire Robson were my grandparents. My mother is Zula. She married Vern Walton. They live in Casa Grande. And I am number 5 of their 7 kids. And I live here in Mesa. We've been here for 15 years or thereabouts. And we're just proud to be a part.
And you're the one that put up the wallpaper in the Phelps room.
Yeah, that's right.
So we always want to remember that because the wallpaper is so pretty in
Oh,
there.
is it still on the wall?
It's still
well,
hanging up.
that surprises me. Okay.
We'll call you when it starts to come down.
Okay, you do that.
How many children do you have, Gary?
We've got 4 2/3.
Isn't that
so-
great? That's nice, Francis. Real nice. And you're on the fire department here.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. We're real glad to have you.
Well, we're
and
glad to
Zula's
be here.
coming up from Casa Grande?
She'll be up. She and my dad will be up from Casa Grande, and Bud or Vern Jr. and his wife Glenna are coming down from Safford.
Oh, that's
And as
great.
far as I know, that's all that's going to make it this trip.
Well, that's nice. That's a nice part about this job. Not only I get to meet everybody before they let them through the door, see?
Well, that's
so
great.
it's good to see you and
Well,
tell
it's
you
good to
thanks
see you
again for your
again.
help in the room.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you.
Oh, you bet. We're waiting for the next ones to come on. Come on. Frankie, is your husband coming?
Here's the master of ceremonies.
Jim, my oldest son. Jim, can you tell us what your name is? You need to come on that way so that. Now we're on camera.
I don't care.
Tell us what your name is and introduce us to Jody.
I'm Jim Riley, and this is Jody. And what else?
And who's your mother and father?
This is my mother. My father's someplace else.
And their names?
Are Bill and Wanda Riley.
And who was your grandparents?
Charlie and Amy Morris.
I was testing. And she was Amy Phelps.
Amy Phelps.
That's great. And you're living where, Jim?
I think I'm living outside the United States. It's Arizona now. And
Can you tell us the event of March the 17th, 1990?
The funeral starts that day. I'm getting married again.
Again, don't say
But that's all right. We're real happy to have Jody in the family. So they're going to take a big step, and we're real glad to have you in the family, Jody.
Okay, now it's Grace's turn.
Okay.
I can't wait to hear what he's going to say.
Yeah, I can't wait either. Guy, it's nice to have you and Susan.
It's such a pleasure to be here, Aunt Liz. I'm so glad we were invited.
Can you tell us what your name is?
Yes, I'm Guy McAtee, and this is my lovely wife, Sue.
Sue, we're happy to meet you too. And tell us where you're living and what you're doing.
Cave Creek, Arizona. I work at the Boulders Resort.
You're living at the Boulders Resort?
He works
wish
at the
we were
Boulders.
living at the Boulders Resort.
And how many children do you
We have
have, Guy and
5.
Susan?
We have 5 children.
Laura, Guy, Jr., Kathy, Scott, and Margaret. Ranging in age from 21 to 8.
That's great. And you're working at the Boulders,
Yeah.
and Susan's staying home and being a little housewife for Guy. Do you know who your mother is, Guy?
Yes, I do.
Can Can you tell us her name?
Yes, I can.
You could.
Her name is Jean. Jean McAtee Parker. Jean McAtee. Jean Morris McAtee Parker.
And do you remember what your grandparents' name are?
Yes, Charlie and Amy Morris.
So we've got to be right. All the Morrises right here, but we're glad to have Guy and Susan.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Mel, where's your wife?
Uncle Rex's.
Tell me what your name is.
Sharon Phelps.
And what was your maiden name, Sharon?
Jones.
Jones?
Mm-hmm.
And who's your husband?
Ronald.
Ronald Phelps?
Mm-hmm.
And your in-laws?
Rex and Elaine Phelps.
Okay, this is what we wanted to hear.
Okay.
And Rex's dad was Gov.
Yes.
And his mother was Effie.
Mm-hmm.
So we're happy to have you here with us, Sharon.
Thank
Are
you.
you here in Mesa?
We live in Gilbert.
In Gilbert?
Mhm.
How many children do you and Ronald have?
We have 4 boys and a girl.
Great. Is Ronald going to be able to make it?
No, he's up skiing.
Up skiing?
Mhm.
Well, we won't hope he breaks his neck because he's not with us, but we'll break it for not coming.
I used to be Ron's piano teacher.
Oh.
When he was little, I think he'd bawl every time his mother'd make him come to his lesson, but he'd come every now and then.
Well, he still plays beautifully.
Does he?
Yeah, she did a good job.
Oh, thanks. We're glad you came, Sharon.
Thank you.
It's
So
nice,
am I.
nice to visit with you. Dale, come over here and let me visit with you and your wife. Come on, Sue. Sue, you and Dale and your husband and wives come over here.
How are
We're
you?
Come on, to look at these, you know who they are. But
That's
we have
right.
to tell it in camera. You look just like your mom. Isn't
That's
that great?
right. We're Aunt Hattie's grandchildren, and Louise Miller is our mom, and Wendell was our dad. This is Dale and Linda, and Dick hiding here.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Everybody's camera shy. I didn't know Phelpses were so camera shy.
Hi.
You're all a
Since when-
bunch of hams till
And
you
there's
get in
our
front of
good
the
buddy
camera.
Dorothy.
Oh, yes. Dale,
Sneaky,
tell me
very
what
sneaky.
you're doing in Mesa.
I'm still here, never left.
All right, what are you doing?
Work for the fire department.
And how many children do you have, Dale?
4 children.
4 children. And your wife? Get out here so we can introduce your wife.
She's the one that likes the camera.
Yeah.
Yes. Give a speech.
What
sir.
was your name?
Linda Shumway, and I went here to school.
Isn't that great? There's a lot of them here that went to school, so I think we ought to have a Lehigh school reunion.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that's nice. It's real good to have you. And tell me
Thank
what
you.
you're doing here.
I teach social studies at Mesa High School.
I take my hat off to him.
I do too.
A lot of patience there.
That's right. Good to
It's
see
good.
all
And
of
you're
you.
still teaching, Sue?
Well, I'm in Gilbert now. I bet you didn't even know that, did
No,
you?
I didn't.
They made me an offer I couldn't refuse a couple of years ago, and so I said, okay.
You're a good teacher, just like
Thanks.
your mom
You
was.
bet,
Isn't
you
that
bet.
great?
Good to see you.
Nice to
Nice to
visit
see
with
you.
Come here, Bert, and bring your wife. How are
Okay.
you? I
This
already
is-
know her, but I
This
want.
is Gracie Booth Levitt, and there's her sister Frances Merrill right over there.
Uh-huh.
And
And tell me what your name is.
I'm Bert Randall Levitt Jr. by Blanche
By Blanche and who else?
and Joe.
Blanche and Joe
Yeah,
Levitt.
she had help.
And Blanche is the oldest daughter. Was she the oldest of Aunt Barbary and Uncle Seymour?
The oldest daughter, the second child.
Now, which one was Aesel?
Aisel was the oldest, and
I don't believe a word Bert said.
Kike was the oldest.
He lies.
There has to be
And we need to.
HP.
And let's see, Uncle Kike, and then Aunt Barbara, and then it
Now
had
you
to.
say Uncle Kike. On video, they'll say Kike. I don't know who Kike is.
They don't know who Uncle. Oh,
What was his name?
Hiram Lauren.
Yeah, we remember.
Alias Kike.
Alias Kike.
The rest of them I couldn't keep track of.
John was here earlier before
Oh.
they came with the camera. They have a Freestone reunion tonight, so they
we got outrated with the, but John and Delia
Well,
were there at
the
the
wives
freestyle.
usually take precedence over.
I've noticed that once in a while.
I see. That's why you're here.
And
Well-
you're up at Thatcher.
Central.
At Central.
Central.
That's
Uh-huh.
close.
And you love all that peace and quiet up there, and you come down here to all of this hullabub.
And who's doing your floors now since I left?
I've moved into a mobile home, and I don't have any floors to do, and Bill just vacuums them.
Oh, well, that's
Sounds like a
cutting out the middleman, are you?
Yeah, I'm cutting out the middleman. Come on over, Dr. Levitt. Is there a doctor in the house? How are you?
Great.
Good, good. You didn't hear me. I said, is there a doctor in the house? He's Floyd, come on and bring your wife. Did your wife come with you, Floyd?
My wife brought me.
Oh, this
This is his first wife.
When she walked up, I didn't think that looked like your wife. You guys are playing jokes on me right here in front of the camera. I want you over here under the light so the video will pick you up. Alan, stand back there a little ways. And now we should have had Bert come and all three of you brothers. Head in here. No, that's fine. I just wanted all three of you on camera. Now that's Barbara, Blanche, and Joe Levitt's three sons. See, we just interviewed Bert, and here's Floyd, and there's Alan. That's great. Now I'll talk to each one of you, but I just wanted all three of you on there together. I think that's neat. Okay, Floyd, tell me what you're doing.
I'm teaching school in Scottsdale and have been for over 30 years and having fun doing it.
That's what counts.
Yes.
Now, who's your wife, Floyd?
This is my wife, Leola Rogers Levitt. She's the daughter of Cora and Roy Rogers from Snowflake.
How many children do you have?
We have 6 children. We have 12 grandchildren. We're 13 grandchildren. We're expecting 2 more grandchildren right away.
2 more?
Yes.
All at the same time?
No.
Or from
No.
two separate
Two
mamas?
different mothers.
Okay,
One
we
in
have to check
California
now
and
that
one in Oregon.
Now, are any of your children going to be here tonight?
No.
Okay, you're just representing Floyd's.
This
Yeah.
is cousins plus one, remember?
Yeah.
Yes, my children aren't eligible.
Okay, Alan, I want you this way a little bit so the light will shine on you a little bit. Is your wife with you today?
No, she's tied up at home.
See, when you walked up with Floyd's wife, I thought, I don't remember that was Floyd's or Alan's wife, and you had Floyd's wife. He was going to share you tonight, huh?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's great. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Fine, fine.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do, Alan.
Oh, I have a delivery service here in Mesa.
How many deliveries have you made in the last how many years?
Oh, since I started, it's been several years ago. It was 10,000.
Is that right?
So we surpassed that.
Isn't that great?
That's
lot
a
of-
city.
You know you've delivered a lot of my grandchildren. Did you know that? Or did you remember that? I guess you knew it at the time, but you don't know it now.
Didn't remember
Have
it,
too
no.
many, yeah? They're all over 6 feet now. That's how long ago it's been. And how many children did you have, Alan, of yours and your wife's?
We had 3 girls and 2 boys and 3 more girls.
And where are they living?
Never could even it up.
Are they all here in Mesa?
Most of them are close. We have one in Utah and one in California.
That's great. And your mom's coming tonight?
I think so.
Good.
She
I'll
would
get-
come with Fern when she comes.
Oh, that's great. It's glad to have you here, Alan.
Thank you.
Bet. Hello there. How are you?
Fine. You know who I am?
I sure do.
Hi. You
Oh,
look the same.
I want your husband to come over.
My husband, Bill, I think you met him in...
Yeah, at the last week. You believe you can. I just want you in the light so we can see. I know who you are, but I want you to tell everybody else on camera.
I'm Anita Thiemling. This is my husband, Bill. We live in Bullhead City. We came all the way down for this today.
You left the slot machines back?
Yes.
They can have them.
Now I want to know what your maiden name and who your parents were, Anita.
My maiden name is Phelps, and my father's name was Morris Calvin Phelps, and my mother's name is Carmen. They are both been dead many, many years.
I know.
So-
We'd like to know which Phelpses we all come from, because a whole bunch of us here are Phelpses. On this camera, they want to know. And is your sister Winnie coming?
No, she lives in Fresno, and she
yeah?
couldn't make it down.
Oh, I was hoping she'd get to come so we could meet her. And be sure and go in the Phelps room now.
All right.
And you'll see Uncle Oscar and Uncle Cal's, and your mom's pictures are all in there.
Okay.
So we're real happy. Now, tell me about your family. You have children?
They're one in South Carolina with one grandchild, and the other one is in, where does she live? San Fernando Valley, Burbank, I guess. And that's it. And we're retired and living in Bullhead City for 8 years. 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rivera is right there at Bullhead City, right?
Riviera.
That's just
subdivision.
Area.
That's all.
It's all Bullhead City, but that's just one little area.
Our mailbox was named from Riviera, but arrived.
I remember when I got your letter when we started the Phelps room. It said Riviera. I've never heard of Riviera, Arizona.
Just a post office.
So I asked Orson Phelps, Tom Bowen, who was a postmaster. And I says, where's Riviera, Arizona? And he said it was at Bullhead.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you come. Is your brother Richard coming?
No, he won't be able to make it either.
And he's still up
He lives up in Kearney.
Kearney? Does he still have the car dealership?
No, his kids have it.
Oh.
You know, he has 2 kids, and they're both in the car business. And he has 2 grandchildren and another one coming in a month or so.
Oh, that's great. I haven't seen Richard for a long time, but we always remember Richard and Anita and Winnie.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you what I remember about Uncle Oscar. When I was about 7, I was burned real bad.
I remember
you remember that?
Sure.
He came to see me, and he gave me a $5 bill. I'll never forget that. That was the most money I did. He couldn't afford to give me all of that money, but that's how I remember Uncle. He was such a neat person.
Yeah, he was.
He was real special. We was always glad to have him come see us. Thanks a million for coming over. Have a good time. Well, we'll get a next one up here when they all get through hugging. Amy Lou, come up here and let me visit with you. How are you?
Just fine, darling. You?
I want you to stand here in the light and tell us what your name is.
Well, I'm Amy Lucille Hanson. And my mother is Georgia Fryer, daughter of George Fryer. And, of course, my mother is Georgia, a sister of Lucy. And Cy and all those wonderful people who are Friars.
We just got through interviewing all of them.
Good.
And Cy looks great.
Doesn't he look wonderful, though? He does. This is so precious of you to do this. We
Our
just really
pleasure.
appreciate it so
it's
much.
It's fun to get cousins together.
It is, and thank you, darling. You're wonderful.
Okay, thanks. Come here, Vern, and bring your wife. Uh-huh. Zula?
Yeah.
He says you're his spokesman.
Oh, am
He's gonna
I?
let you have the last say. I want you to tell me what your name is.
I'm Zula Robson Walton. I'm from Clara and Charles clan.
And you're number what in Aunt Clara's and Chuck's?
I'm number 3.
Number 3?
I'm number 3, yes.
And just a moment ago...
I'm the most important one, though, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's Vern behind you.
Vern behind me.
We just got through interviewing Gary and his wife.
Say hi. You're on TV.
Tell me
Hi.
what you're doing, Vern, and where you're living.
Well, I live in Casa Grande, and I'm doing just what I can't get out of doing.
Selling cars and
Sell-
farm equipment and all that fun things. We just got through visiting with your son, Gary, and it was nice. And he's probably in the Phelps room now because he just left a moment ago. Leon? Come bring your beautiful wife. Come on. This is a twosome. They're getting bogged down in us.
I thought you were interviewing just the young ones.
I want you to turn around, though, and get in the light and tell us what your name. I am interviewing just the young ones.
Oh. What would you like to know?
I'd like to know what your name is and who your parents were.
I'm Leon Phelps, the fourth child of Orson and Rebecca. And this is my wife, Una Lee.
How are you, Una? I'm fine. And how many children do you have, and where are they, Leon?
We have 3. I have 3. They are in Florida, Washington, and here.
That's great. We're just real happy to have you here, and you're retired, and Una's still working a little bit and looking forward to retirement. That's neat. We're glad to have you with us. Oh, come here, Genevieve. You can go in and visit the Phelps room. This is Genevieve.
And her husband.
Paul Coleman. It's Paul's wife, Helen. Come in, Wallace and Genevieve. This is some more of those Phelpses we just got through interviewing. Turn around this way so the light can be on you. Tell me what your name is.
I'm Genevieve Phelps Wilkins, the second daughter of Orson and Rebecca Phelps, and this is my husband Wallace Wilkins. We are glad to be here. I think this is a wonderful get-together.
We live up in Eager, and when you guys come up that way, stop and see us.
About in August?
You bet. We might have some corn for you.
Oh, that sounds good. It's good to have you come. Michael? Oh, it's nice to have you here,
Thank
Michael.
you.
He's a special little nephew, so I have to be real nice to him. Tell me what your name is.
Michael McClaws.
And who is this nice young
This is
lady?
my wife, Diana.
Hi.
Where are you from, Diana?
I'm from Pine, Arizona.
And what was your maiden name?
Lee. Isn't that nice?
And, who are your parents, Michael, and your grandparents?
Marlon and Virginia. There's my mommy standing right there. Come on, Grandma.
Come stand over here, Virginia, and you can be in this interview, and we'll get it all in one.
Stand in the front, right where you belong. Stand right here where you belong.
Right here.
Stand in front.
She insists on being the front of the camera. And this is Michael's mother, and what's your name?
Virginia.
And your maiden name?
I'm a Morris and a Phelps.
And who was your mother?
Charlie and Amy, and my baby sister's Wanda.
That's what I've been waiting to hear. Michael, what are you doing now?
I work for a steel fabricating company. I work in sales.
And how many children do you have?
4 kids.
Do you have any grandchildren, Michael?
Not yet. Just grandparents.
What's his church job? Asking.
Oh, what do you do in the church?
I'm bishop of the Mesa 56th Ward.
Oh, I'm going to change my membership, and I'll have it made, won't I, if I go to that ward? It's good to have you with us, Mike and Diane. We've got somebody special here, and I want to be sure and have her in the light. Come here, Blanche. I want you right here and stand in the light this way so the light can shine to you. I just got through interviewing your 3 sons. Come stand with her. We'll do this all together, Fern.
Come on,
Tell me
Jim.
come on. Tell me what your name is. I want to know what your name is.
Oh, my name is Blanche Allen Levitt.
And who was your parents, Blanche?
My parents was Barbara and Seymour Allen.
And how many children did you and your husband, Joe Levitt, have?
And then Joe Levitt, we had 9 children. We have 8 living, 5 daughters and 2 sons.
Isn't that great? Your 3 sons were just here a while ago and interviewed and took a picture of all 3 of them together.
Oh,
it was nice.
okay.
And you're babysitting great-grandchildren, I understand. Great-grandchildren, or all your children are great, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, they're all great.
Tell me. Okay. Blanche, we don't ask many people how old they are, but I'd like for you to tell in that camera how young you are.
92 years old.
Isn't that great? I think Blanche is the oldest Phelps cousin now. So she's kind of an honor tonight. It's so nice to have you with us, and you look great. That red makes you look younger, Blanche.
Oh, thank you.
I'll have to get you a red negligee. It's good to have you. Fern, I want you and your husband come up and tell me what your name is.
Okay, I'm Fern. I'm a daughter of Blanche and Joe Levitt. This is my husband, Jim Martin, and we have 8 children.
That's great. And you live in Gilbert?
No, I'm from Gilbert, but we live in Mesa, near the Mesa South Stake Center. We're just enjoying ourselves to death. 4 grandchildren, and
I didn't
just
think you
having
were that old. You make me old now when you tell me how many grandchildren you have.
That's true.
Yeah, it's good to have you with us.
Thank you, Wanda.
we'll go down and see if we can get into Lucy Vance. I think you're going to have to go bring them up here.
They don't want me to.
Come on.
Get my wife.
Come on, Fred. You married in this wonderful family, so you get to have your picture taken. Turn around this way so the light will be on you. And when we get Carol's attention.
You won't get her attention. She's
busy? All right. Well, come on, Carol. See, we got her. When she knew the camera was on, she hurried right over.
Am I supposed to be on camera?
You're on candid camera. I want you to tell us who you are and introduce your husband to us.
I'm Carol Lines Augustine. This is my husband, Fred Augustine. And Maxine Lines is my mother. And her father was Gov Phelps.
That's what we wanted to hear, so we can trace it. And tell us what you're doing here and how many children you have doing here in Mesa, I mean.
We've lived in Mesa forever. And we have 5 children, and they all live in Mesa. And I own an antique shop on Brown Road, and Fred is still in the insurance business with Allstate Insurance.
for lots of years. Not a thing.
Well, we got that plug in.
And we have what? We have 19 grandchildren, 2 more on the way.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that exciting?
Good. Yes, it really is. That's good. Barbara Ann? This is Blanche Levitt's baby sister. We just got through interviewing Blanche.
Well, I'm
Levitt.
not the baby. I'm the middle sister.
Oh, you're the. Well, I was going to say you're the baby. What does that make Mary?
Afterthought.
Yeah, I'm the afterthought, I guess.
Oh, well, if we'd have had Blanche, we'd have had the 3 Levitt sisters, or Allen sisters. But that's all right. We'll take you a little bit of a time. Tell me what your name is.
Barbara Crandall. Barbara Allen Crandall.
And who were your parents?
John and Seymour Allen.
Did you?
John Seymour Allen.
And Barbara.
And Barbara.
Phelps.
Now,
Allen.
Barbara, tell us how many children you had and who they are.
I have had 6 children. 2 of them I have lost. The others are Barbara Jean, the oldest, Paul, Wilfred, and John, the youngest.
That's great. And you're still living here in Mesa,
48.
going strong.
Yes, been in the same house 60 years.
Isn't that great? Mary, tell us about you, because we don't get to see and hear from you like we do Bob.
I have 2 sons, and one of them is living in Ogden with, he's had 8 children, and the one is living in Vallejo, where I've lived for the last 45 or 50 years, and he has 4 children.
That's great. And you taught school here in Mesa for how many years, Mary?
2.5 in Mesa.
Was it?
But altogether, I taught 33 and a half years. You know, about 30 years too many.
Well, I remember when you were my school teacher and you wouldn't let us chew gum in school. That's what I remember. That's what I learned when you were my teacher. We couldn't chew gum.
The whole thing of it was I understood that the children ganged up on me. And so I had to get the first lick in before they did.
You did.
Was that
She was
the
a good
time that
teacher.
I had a bucket there by the door and made you put all your gum and candy
It
in?
could have been. I don't remember the detail. I just remember we couldn't chew gum in your class.
But it was fun. I enjoyed my years of teaching. I enjoyed the teachings of my parents. And my brothers and sisters and all my cousins. It was so fun.
Oh, it's great. Okay. Come here, June and Morris. Okay. Oh, here's Maxine.
Hello,
How are
Dor-
ya?
Hello,
I just
Wanda.
come around this way in the light. And where's Earl?
He's way back there.
Okay. Well, I want you to tell me what your name is.
Maxine Phelps, Lines.
And tell me who your mother.
My mother was Effie Ellsworth Phelps. My father was Gov.
Great. And you are the what of
I'm
Uncle
the
Gov?
oldest of 4.
There was
I have-
Wayne, Worth, and Rex.
Mhm.
You were the only sister. Did you get picked on, Maxine?
No, I picked on them.
Good. That's what I wanted to hear. And you're retired and doing what, genealogy?
Just genealogy.
Don't
yeah.
say just. That's a lot of work, Maxine. It's
Ooh,
great.
look at the photographer over there.
Yes, it's going. Isn't that nice for him? So we'll have it on for our posterity to see.
Will we see it tonight?
I hope so. I hope so. It'll be quite entertaining, won't it?
I heard there's over 200 here. That's a great
Earl?
number.
You thought you were going to get out of this. Maxine, introduce your other half. Earl Lines.
And you're enjoying doing genealogy with Maxine?
Not particularly.
It's good to have you with us, Earl.
Thank you.
Okay. We just saw your daughter, Carol.
Yeah, I saw her.
That's...
I couldn't find this one.
Well, we all have kissing cousins, and this is a kissing cousin. When we let...
Are we going to show them?
Come on, June, we'll let you in the picture with all these kissing cousins.
I thought it was a crowd.
Well, who's running it, Paul? I
want to tell you about this building. Down here, about 2 rooms down, I went to school in the 3rd grade.
Who was your teacher?
Virgin Merrill's mother, and we used to gather around around one of those pot-bellied stoves. I'm describing it, and she'd tell us a story, and I remember one of the stories she told us was The Last of the Mohicans, and I'll never forget that. And then down here on the right, Chuck Sellers was our teacher when I was in the 5th grade. Now, I just went here in the 3rd and the 5th grade.
You skipped the 4th, huh?
Well, we won't say that. I went to the Franklin in the 4th grade.
You know, I think Lehigh's going to have a class reunion tonight because there's been so many that's come through here and said they went to school here at Lehigh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. All right, I want you to introduce your wife to us.
This is June, the best thing that ever happened to me, believe it or not.
I second that. Well, thank you. I
She's great.
appreciate that.
She's
What was
great.
June's maiden name?
Her name was McCormick. She was from Festus, Missouri. That's a little town back there that was named after a character in Gunsmoke.
Festus, huh? Thanks. And tell us about your children. How many did you have and what you're doing?
We had 6 children, and we lost Jack about 12 years ago. Jack had 4 boys, and
Are any of your children going to be here tonight?
Doug and Peg.
Oh, great. Well,
Mike has an appointment with his music, his recording deal, and Linda's in San Marcos, California, and Karen. She promised me too, and Karen is in Sandy, Utah. They both have big families.
This is the only nice part about this job. I get to visit every person that comes to the party tonight.
We have 25 grandchildren too. I got to say.
Oh, absolutely.
Have to say that.
And it's your brother Paul that's doing the camera work. So you kind of smile for Paul.
I'll tell you, there isn't a better man ever lived than my
you.
brother Paul.
Unless it's you. And look who's here.
Wanda. It's so good to see you. It's been so long.
Oh, I want you to tell them what your name is, your maiden name, who your parents were, and your grandparents and your great-grandparents.
Make it good.
Great-grandparents?
What's your name?
Karen McKinnon Hill. This is Dave Hill. My parents were Sue Riley and Steve McKinnon. My grandparents are Wanda Riley and Bill Riley, Wanda Morris Riley and Bill Riley. My great-grandparents were Amy and who?
Charlie.
And Charlie. I knew that. Morris.
That's right. Amy Phelps Morris. That's how come you're here. It's
Phelps.
a Phelps reunion.
I knew that.
Other than being my granddaughter, you get to be here, but it's also a Phelps reunion.
Well, I'm just glad to be here.
Oh, we're glad to have you. Thanks a million for coming. And they have 2 children, so I've got 2 great-grandchildren. Okay, next. Lucy? We'll get Toot in here. And I want you to tell, we've interviewed your sister and your 3 brothers.
Oh, is that right?
Uh-huh.
But
I think they were the
don't
first
slight
ones
me,
on.
for
Oh,
goodness
we
sake.
won't slight you. I want you to tell them who you are.
I'm Lucy Fryer Vance.
And who was your mother and father?
My mother was Lucy Phelps. My father was George Moroni Fryer.
That's great.
Ask me questions.
That's good. Now, I don't ask very many of them how old they are, but I had to Blanche. Now I'm going to ask you, how young are you?
85.
85.
85.
And Toot's real special in our family. She's more like a sister, Andy.
I was raised by Grandpa and Grandma Phelps.
Mary Elizabeth.
Mary Elizabeth.
So you've written some beautiful histories on them.
Oh, bless you.
Are your boys going to come?
They'll all be here but Leland.
Oh, that's good.
Leland's in California.
Oh, is he?
He's pouring cement floor over there.
Oh.
His crew's over there and he couldn't make it.
Good.
But the rest will all be here.
Good. It's good to have you.
Oh, it's good to be here, Wami.
Beverly, how are you?
Your mission. Haven't seen you. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Fine. How are you, Henry?
Fine.
You get to tell us who you are and who your partner is.
I'm Henry Miller, Henry E., my wife Beverly, and son of J. Edwin, who is a cousin, and his wife Zelma, who is my mother.
And from the Phelps end, keep it going till we hear the word Phelps and we can trace you.
I am a grandson of Harriet Emmeline Phelps, daughter of Hiram and Mary Elizabeth.
See, I ask them all that to be sure that you're not crashing the party. We want to be sure you're Phelpses. It's good to have you here with us. Good. Delcina.
Just looking. Just
You're on candid camera, so you have to be nice.
very good at this thing.
Oh, yes, you are.
Let
Come on
me
over
just
in the light, Dave.
welcome Wanda back from her mission. Oh,
Welcome home. Thanks. It's nice to be home, especially for the Phelps cousins.
Oh, you
I want
made
you to
it
turn
just in
around just a
time.
little bit so you can see there in the
Oh.
camera. I want you to
This
tell
is-
us who you are and introduce your husband to us.
I'm Delcina Robson Hatch. This is my husband, Dave Hatch. Belong to Charles and Clara Phelps. Robson.
She's the baby.
I'm the last of the baby of the six.
That's not so bad. It kind of gets
Not
spoiled.
so bad. Dear Wanda here,
And
we've
tell
been
us
close
where-
with the
Tell us
Morris
where you're
cousins.
living.
We're in Phoenix right
Are
now.
any of your children going to be here tonight?
So they won't be here. We're
And tell
sorry
us
they
how
won't
many
be
you
here.
have.
We have five.
Five children?
Five, two married and three married. I take that back. Three married and one on a mission, and one unmarried.
Good.
So,
Where is they on a mission?
so Raleigh, North Carolina.
Great.
So our daughter's there.
Good.
So.
Oh, it's good to have you here.
Oh, this is wonderful.
I saw Clarine go in, but you get her back here. We're not supposed to let them go. There's Glenna. Get her over here.